What's going on, you guys? My name's Diego. Welcome to the show. And it is the start of 2024. If you're like me and you're trying to make 2024 your best year, let's get it. Let's get after it, baby. My ultimate goal is to become financially free. And in doing so, I became an entrepreneur. And if you're trying to be a self employed person, or if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, then I have the book for you. This book is helped me so much change my life from being an employee into being an entrepreneur. And I would like to share that with y'all, but I want to give y'all a little bit of insight on my entrepreneurial journey thus far. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur since I've gotten out of high school. I tried a couple of different businesses and none of them really stuck until one of them finally did. And that would be my lawn care business. That lawn care business received funding through a grant program that I had applied for. And through that funding, it's helped me scale the business into something that's been successful for the past year. I've gotten more out of this thing than anything else. And I have to give credit to this book that I had listened to the first few months of me starting up this lawn care business. This book was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And this book taught me how to think more like an entrepreneur and more like a self-employed person than an employee, because the mindsets between these two are vastly different. There's a couple of key takeaways that I got from the book that I would like to share with y'all. The first one being is the differences between assets and liabilities. Assets are things that you want to use all your spare money in and put it into assets. Assets are going to be things like stocks, a business, real estate, and even crypto. So any spare money that you have, if you want to become financially free and if you want to become rich, you want to put it into as many assets as you can get. These are things that are going to bring you cash flow, bring you a return, and you're going to have your money working for you. On the other side of the token, there are going to be liabilities. Liabilities are what the 99% of people are going to be spending their money on. And those are things like new cars, jewelry, shoes, things that aren't going to get you cash in return. The book Rich Dad, Poor Dad tells you the strategy of investing all your spare money into assets and limiting as many expenses and liabilities as you can. Something that I learned from a role model that I listened to, Grant Cardone, he says to try to buy one new asset every year. And if you were to follow that principle, you're going to be able to get more assets, get more cash flow, and help yourself reach a goal of financial freedom. The second key takeaway that I gotten from the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad was to always invest into yourself first. You, above all else, you are your biggest asset.
Yeah!
Invest into your own knowledge, invest into your own skills first, because the knowledge that you have in your head can never be taken away. You can never have it be fired. You will always have it in your head. And the more knowledge and the more skills you have, the more you can apply that into side hustles, into businesses, into anything you choose. What the book Rich Dad Poor Dad did for me was it helped me develop my financial literacy. And what that is essentially learning how to spend my money, learning how to save my money, and learning how to make money. Those three things right there were a couple of different topics that Robert goes over in this book. And these topics are so helpful if you're trying to become financially free. Financial literacy is a skill, and just like any other skill, you're trying to build it. You start very small, work your way into it little by little, and stack your knowledge as much as you can. I typically like to invest a lot of my time and a lot of my resources into a couple of different things that also develop my skills and knowledge. Those being mentorships, books, podcasts, audibles, and courses. All these things are going to eventually give me a return on the money that I put down on it because I'm learning a new skill, I'm learning more knowledge, and I'm investing into the biggest asset that I have, which is myself. Always invest into yourself first. If you're trying to have a business, if you're trying to become a self-employed person, your biggest asset is yourself. I can't make that point any clearer. Invest in yourself first. Number two, the third key takeaway that I'd gotten from the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad was using leverage. What leverage is using the smallest amount of force to move a greater amount of resistance. In the business field, you want to think about a couple of different things that you can leverage. Number one being leverage your money to work for you. If you're able to save a couple dollars from your paycheck, invest it into a business or invest it into the stock market or invest it into real estate, you're going to have a certain ROI on how much money you put into that. A certain percentage you'll get back. So you're already making your money work for you. Another thing is leveraging your network. If you can leverage the people that you know and leverage their skills and abilities to help you out, that is a great resource and a great use of your time. Another thing that you can leverage is other people's money. So things of that nature would be using a bank and using a loan. You can leverage other people's money. You can use an investor's money, and you can use that money to put it into your business to help scale that business much larger, much faster, and make it much more efficient and produce you more cash flow. You're getting a return on that money. For me, if I were to get an investment of $50,000, I'd be spending it on equipment, marketing, things that are going to provide me that cash flow back so I could pay the investor off and still make money using other people's money. Great thing. And the fourth thing is leveraging other people's time. If you can leverage other people's time, then you don't need to spend your time doing the lowest leverage opportunities. You can delegate that to someone else. And what that is for me, if I were to push a lawnmower for 2 hours, that's not going to be the best use of my time if I'm able to bring more customers into the business. If I had an employee, I can leverage their time to push the lawnmower, and I can spend my time finding more people to bring into the business. That's a perfect example of how to use and leverage other people's time. The fourth thing that I took away from the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad is that failing is a part of the journey. Even though you fail, even though you make mistakes, and even though you don't feel like you're doing good, you are doing good. Failing is a part of the process. Making mistakes is a part of the process. And from those mistakes, from those failures, you learn. You build up your skills and you learn some more. And it's a really rough road, but think about it like a baby trying to walk. They're going to fall countless of times. They're going to crawl before they walk. It's a long and arduous process before you're finally able to walk, but you can't just give up. You have to be persistent. You have to apply pressure, and you can never stop, even though it doesn't feel that good right now. Because if you trust the process and you have faith, then ultimately you're going to get to a point where you're going to be looking back at all those hard times and reflecting on how good it actually was. One way that you can avoid this and making mistakes is learning from someone who's already been in the position you've been. If you can find a mentor who has already been through what you've been, already made the mistakes you've already made or are going to make, and if you learn from him and you're receptive, then you can take that and not make those same mistakes that they might have. You can learn from their perspective and grow faster. It's almost like a cheat code to not failing and building your success in a much faster way. Mentorship is almost like a hack to entrepreneurship. The more you can find people and leverage your network with the people that you know, the better and faster you're going to get to the point where you want to be. These few points that I had gotten from the book Rich Dad Poor Dad have helped me tremendously with my lawn care business. And I'm absolutely sure that if you were to take these takeaways from the book, if you grab the book and read it yourself, you're going to be able to apply that into your life, into your business, and ultimately fund the biggest asset that you have, which is yourself. Never stop learning, never stop growing, especially when you're in the realm of entrepreneurship. It is your duty to learn financial literacy, to learn how to leverage other people's time, other people's money, your own money. It's crucial that you learn all these things if you're trying to become self-employed. That would conclude today's episode of my most favorite business book. If you guys have 2024 goals, drop them in the comments below. I'm super curious to know what your guys' goals are. For me, one of my goals for this year is to drop one new YouTube video every month. I think it's doable, but it's a lot harder than it seems. I've spent all day today literally just recording myself. It's been a struggle. But if you're like anything like me, be persistent, resist the urge of failing and quitting, and be able to look back on this and see it as a learning opportunity. Always have an abundant mindset and take in as much as you can. Thank you guys for listening to today's show. It means the world to me. I wish you a great day, a great month, and a great year, and I'll see you next time. Peace!